What if I told you that quantum physics discovered something in 1947 that could unlock instant manifestation? It may sound like science fiction, but it is reality, and perhaps it's the missing piece you've been searching for. How many times have you tried applying the law of attraction by thinking positively, visualizing success, only to feel disappointment and emptiness? The fault is not in you, nor in your visualization skills. The error lies in a fundamental misunderstanding of how the brain truly works and how it responds to desire. And right now I will share with you something Dr. John Demartini framed in a quantum metaphor, so astonishing it could change the way you see attraction, creation, and living in abundance. Remember, this is not the same old story of think positive and wait for miracles. This is a whole new perspective, grounded in neuroscience and universal law, where opposites, positive and negative, are not enemies, but the very pieces that create light, illumination, and the true power of manifestation. If you've ever wondered why the traditional approach of positive thinking leaves you frustrated and empty-handed, you are about to uncover the missing link. And trust me, it's not what you think. Let me begin with a story that changed everything. In 1947, physicist Paul Dirac published groundbreaking research in quantum mechanics. He discovered that every particle must have an antiparticle. When these opposites collide, they create gamma photons, pure light. But here's where it gets fascinating. At 18 years old, Dr. Demartini had a profound realization after reading this. If positive and negative particles create light when combined, what happens when we integrate positive and negative emotions? Could we generate enlightenment? This question launched a lifelong journey that reshaped our understanding of manifestation. This is why the law of attraction fails for most people. They try to attract only positive experiences while avoiding negative ones. They want happiness without sadness, success without failure, light without shadow. But here's the truth. Life does not operate one-sided. Every time you chase a one-sided fantasy, your brain, specifically the amygdala, fires up stress mode. The amygdala is the fear and danger center. When it activates, your body is flooded with anxiety and tension, draining your creative and magnetic energy. This is why the more you crave a perfect outcome, the further it seems to slip away. Think about a magnet. You cannot have the positive pole without the negative. Separated, it is no longer a magnet. The law of attraction works the same. When you reject what you perceive as negative, difficulty, challenge, sadness, you strip away your own magnetic force. The wise do not run from the shadow. They embrace both sides of the coin. True success is not forged only in light. It is tempered in darkness. Joy has meaning because you have tasted sorrow. Victory is sweet because you have endured defeat. So instead of running from half of life, you must learn to stand in balance. Let me be clear. The law of attraction is not a game of imagine good things and wait. It is the art of living fully with both poles, so that when you walk forward, you walk not on illusions, but on a whole, steady, magnetic reality. And once you understand that life never works one-sided, you step into a deeper layer, what Demartini calls the hidden order. This is not theory, it is a universal principle. Every experience has two sides, and both are necessary for the picture to be complete. Take marriage, for example. Everyone dreams of endless romance, but marriage also brings challenges, conflict, disagreements, responsibilities. If you expect only one half, you'll be disappointed. But if you see both love and challenge, you enter calmness, you lose illusions, you gain readiness, and you become stronger. Business works the same. People see profit, freedom, and success. But behind it lies risk, failure, sleepless nights. If you accept both sides, you're not shocked when difficulties come. You are prepared, and that resilience makes you stronger than those who chase one-sided fantasies. Demartini calls this state enlightenment. It is not shallow joy or temporary excitement. It is deep peace when you see both poles of life and know both are needed for growth. And in that balance point, you unlock the door to real power, the power to attract, to create, to go beyond what you thought possible. Now, where does neuroscience stand? This is where we shift from philosophy to science. When you chase one-sided illusions, your brain is hijacked by the amygdala, the seat of fear, anxiety, and reactive impulses. But when you live and act from your true values, something extraordinary happens. The prefrontal cortex, specifically the medial prefrontal cortex, lights up. Neuroscientists call this the seat of the self, It's where you can see the long term, make wise decisions, and navigate your life with clarity rather than impulse. The special thing is that this region is directly linked to the visual cortex. That's why legendary athletes like Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant didn't just train on the court. They trained in the mind. They visualized each shot, each move, as if it had already happened thousands of times. The result? Their body, reflexes, and even emotions aligned with the pre-scripted picture in the prefrontal cortex. They weren't just dreaming, they were living the vision, and reality had no choice but to follow. But I want you to understand, when you operate from this region, you are no longer vague or self-deceiving. You are programming life based on your deepest values, not society's pressures or others' expectations. And from this state, your visualization is not wishful thinking, but a neurological strategy, a powerful tool to pull the future into the present. So next time you close your eyes and visualize your goal, don't do it in desperation or fear. Enter balance. Step into your prefrontal cortex, where you see both challenge and reward. From that balance point, your brain unleashes its full power to turn assumption into reality. Now pause and ask yourself, is what I'm chasing truly from my heart, or just an illusion planted by society, others, or the media? This is not an easy question, because it strikes at the root of all resistance you've felt on your journey. You see, when you chase a goal that isn't truly yours, the brain resists. It's like climbing a mountain only to realize it's not the peak you wanted. That misalignment makes you tired, frustrated, even if it looks like you're on track. On the other hand, when your goals align with your deepest values, your entire nervous system rallies behind you. The prefrontal cortex activates, motivation comes from within, and the law of attraction becomes stronger than ever, because you're no longer pulling yourself in opposite directions. Understand this, a goal tied to your true values has a natural magnetism. You don't have to fake excitement or force discipline. The belief and resonance within you create persistence, resilience, and drive. That's why some people work for decades and burn out, while others work day and night with endless energy. The difference isn't hours worked, it's alignment of value and goal. So you must be honest with yourself. Is what you're chasing something that truly lights you up, or just a role you're playing for approval? Answer this, and you won't just change direction, you will unleash hidden strength. Next, let's talk about the law of contrast. In physics, a sensation only exists through comparison. Put your hand in cold water, then into warm water. It feels hot, but the same warm water, after hot water, feels cold. What's the lesson? The same reality, but the experience is completely different depending on the contrast. Life works the same way. Success is truly sweet only after you've tasted failure. Light blazes brighter because you've walked through darkness first. But this is where many people stumble. They want the light without the shadow, the victory without the test. That one-sided craving is what exhausts them. Why? Because it runs against the built-in order of the universe. I want you to understand, failure is not the enemy. It's the cold water that teaches you to cherish the warm water called success. Your stumbles don't arrive to destroy you. They temper you so that when you finally touch victory, you hold it with deep gratitude instead of fleeting arrogance. The wise don't run from darkness, they learn to walk with it. They look at the contrast and smile, knowing it is the very ground on which greatness appears. You don't need to eliminate contrast, you need to leverage it. Because within opposition you find balance, and from that balance your magnetism becomes stronger than ever. Now imagine you're rowing a boat in the open sea. You're pulling hard, sweat pouring, yet you barely move. Why? Because the anchor is still dropped to the ocean floor. That's exactly how many people practice the traditional law of attraction. They try to think positively, paint rosy visions, but inside the anchor is hooked in fear, doubt, and values that aren't truly theirs. The fifth dimension approach? It doesn't tell you to row harder or exert more force. It simply asks you to pull up the anchor. Once it's off the seabed, you're no longer held back. Then the wind, your core values, your balance, your true belief carries your boat farther than ever, and you'll witness something miraculous. You don't need to strain and struggle because you're moving in the right current. Understand this. Not all hard work takes you to the destination. But any step taken in alignment with your true values is always powerful. You may work with less strain, yet get multiples more done because your mind, body, and emotions are finally aimed in the same direction. This is the difference between wishful dreaming and alignment. Dreamers burn energy fighting themselves. The aligned release energy and let life lift them. Ask yourself, today, are you rowing with the anchor still down, or have you raised it to catch the wind? My friend, now it's time to turn mindset into movement. How many times have you set goals, dreamed of success, and still felt stuck in the same place? The issue isn't laziness or lack of grit. The issue is that you haven't truly dissected the goal itself. Here's the exercise that changes the game. Step 1, choose one goal you've chased for a long time but haven't achieved. Promotion, launching a business, building a relationship, or hitting a certain income. Don't pick an easy one. Choose the one that keeps you up at night. Step 2, sit down and write 20 benefits you'd gain by achieving it. Leave nothing out. Then write 20 drawbacks. Yes, drawbacks. Because everything in life has two sides. Success brings responsibility. Freedom brings constraints. Money brings pressure. If you only want one side while denying the other, you'll trigger inner resistance. Step 3, read your list and ask, is this goal truly mine? Or am I chasing it to prove something to someone else? This is the most important question. If it doesn't link to your core values, your mind will quietly fight you. No matter how much you pray, affirm, or grind, but if it clicks with who you really are, your entire nervous system, heart, and energy will rally, and your attraction power multiplies naturally. You see, this isn't a game of fluffy dreams. It's the work of honesty. When you dare to look at both sides, you finally stand on solid ground. From that ground, what once seemed distant begins to move toward you. My dear friend, this is where many slip without noticing. They're taught to visualize only the wonderful: wealth, success, joy. But life is never a single color. Let me be clear. If you see only the glory and ignore the responsibility, you're sowing the seeds of disillusionment. Proper visualization isn't painting a flawless, rosy picture. Proper visualization is daring to see the whole, light and shadow. When you picture yourself at the top of your career, see the late nights, the hard calls, and the people who will oppose you. When you envision a happy marriage, see the disagreements, the tests, and the duty to care for each other. That isn't negativity, it's preparation. Because when your brain sees both sides, it automatically builds adaptability. It doesn't panic when difficulty arrives, it's already coded to receive it. That comprehensive preparation turns you into a magnet for real opportunities, not flimsy fantasies. The impatient will say, why visualize hardship? I just want to think good thoughts. But you are different. You want durable success, not a brief flare that fizzles. Durable success requires a realistic foundation, and reality includes ease and effort, benefit and burden. It's time to close this journey with a simple, powerful truth. The law of attraction isn't a race to find a perfect life. Light without shadow, joy without challenge. Properly understood, it teaches you to embrace both. Because life may never be perfect, but it can always be authentic. Consider this. If you spend life chasing a world without sorrow, failure, or responsibility, you'll fall into illusion. And illusion always ends in disappointment. But when you choose to see both, win and loss, ease and difficulty, happiness and tears, you start building a solid foundation. You stop manifesting wins to show off, and instead, you create a life truly tied to your core values, to balance, to inner freedom. This matters because so many are climbing the wrong mountain. They pour sweat, endure hardship, and at the summit realize it isn't the peak they wanted. They live a life society assigned, one others expect, instead of the life their soul truly longs for. You don't have to follow that script. You can choose your own mountain, and when you climb your mountain, every step, tiring, stumbling, imperfect, carries meaning. Success is no longer just a medal at the end. It's the experiences you collect, the lessons you learn, the moments you live true to yourself. That is the power of true attraction, not pursuing perfection, but committing to an authentic journey. This concludes our share. Everything here reflects personal perspectives. Thank you for watching. If you have any questions or want to share your thoughts and feelings about the video, please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your feedback and questions so we can discuss and improve together. Don't forget to like and subscribe to help spread this helpful content.